So to see like, the sheer dominance when it comes to like distance, whether it's cross country or just, longer distance on the track, it doesn't surprise me at all. And I don't really have a issue with, American schools like recruiting, folks from overseas, whether it's Africa or across the pond in Europe, because I mean, it only can help the sport, it only makes it for a better product. I kind of compare it to like look at the NBA and like how foreign athletes are like, kind of like the more dominant. Well, I'm not gonna say the most dominant, but like for example, like Luka Doncic, with the Lakers. You know what I mean? Victor Wembanyama. You know what I mean? So it only like helps the sport. It helps make a much better product. So I like it. I'm here for it.
Well, I have a little different take. I think if I didn't do a little reading, I would have only thought on one side of the spectrum when it comes to this. Just wanted to read a couple stats, and I'm gonna tell you why I think I'm kind of like on the line with this. Uh, in this year's race, 38 of the top 50 athletes were born outside of the United States. 29 of the top 50 were born in Kenya. 31 of 63 athletes were foreign born that crossed the finish line. 38% of all the women in the field were foreign born. That's not really the part that really stood out. This is the part right here. There's a lot of these foreign born athletes that are coming from over the continent of Africa. And the age is what kind of gets me, right? There
Hmm.
was a guy named there's Solomon from Washington State.
29.
He came in as a freshman at 28 years old, and he had several professional races before that. So they're seeing this trend of not just foreign born, but just getting these athletes who are almost 30 years old, but they're 26, 27, 28 years old. I guess I can see where people may get a little upset when we're talking about it. 'Cause I just heard you talk about the NBA. Well, the NBA is a professional sport.
Hmm.
So when you're comparing that to the NCAA, it's slightly different because now we're talking about giving these guys and these women scholarships and taking a spot away from someone who just came from high school or JUCO or whatever the case may be. I think that's the only part I would argue. I have no problem with recruiting foreign-born runners. There's no secret that the best distance runners come from these African nations. Morocco and Algeria and Kenya. We already know that that's what they do over there. However, it is puts a little wrench in the matrix when you start filling up your team with these experienced runners. Now it's almost like these younger guys don't even get an opportunity to go to these certain schools because the rosters are filled up with essentially professional runners.
Yeah.
The NIL is a great idea, but it's become a problem because there's nobody governing the rules or anything with NIL. That's just making it worse for these foreign-born players to come over, runners coming over here because now it's like beforehand the rule was if you are a professional runner and you are going to college, you had to give up all the money that you earned as a professional.
Mm.
I don't think it's like that anymore because these quote unquote amateur athletes are making money now. So they don't have to give up any type of money. So it's a little easier grabbing these guys. These guys have been in the Diamond League. They've been running overseas. They have races and races and races on a professional level. And then they're mature. So really, when they come over here, there's really no developing these runners. Compared to, you get a freshman from some high school, and now you're on the development kind of program there, right? No, these guys are coming in, and they're NCAA champions or they're top two, top three. And not saying that it's impossible to beat them. BYU has proven that. I think BYU has an all American squad, if I'm not mistaken, and they're top 10 almost every year. But that would be the only issue that I would say as far as recruiting. I don't think it's ruining the NCAA, but it's definitely giving the NCAA something to think about when it comes to recruiting foreign-born runners. And again, I don't have no problem with it.